Hi guys, welcome back to Trash It. Okay, we've got a full house today, but then we've got your usual host because you should already know these people by now. Okay, Nelson, nice to have you back in the studio. Thank you for coming back on the show. And we have Jude. You all know Jude by now, and of course your usual madam, as I call her, Yori. Hey Yori,
Hello.
hi guys,
Hi,
how you all
hi
doing?
everyone.
Okay, so the topic we're going to be trashing today is I've just given it a title of my own, which is "He's Not My Type." But this was sent to us by a fan, and they wanted us to help them out. Okay, so listen, guys. It says, "I am a 26 years old woman, and my parents died when I was 14 years old. I dropped out of school as no one could afford to pay my fees. I met a guy when I was 16 and he sent me back to school. He sold fruits on the street so that he could pay my school fees. He later got a job as a truck driver and sent me to the university. I am now working as a lawyer. My problem is that I feel I can no longer continue with this relationship as this guy is not the type of man I would like to marry one day. How best can I tell him he's not my type without hurting his feelings? I am grateful that he sent me to school, but I can't be in a relationship with him anymore. I want somebody in my own class and not a truck driver. Please help me." Okay. So you've heard the story. Lady was, education was done, was assisted by a guy, and now she's a big girl.
The
She no
high
longer
flyer.
wants, yeah, she's a big girl. She no longer wants this guy because, he's too low. Nelson, let's hear from you. What do you think? What solution should we give to this person?
Okay. Um. First things first. Did she not know that this person was a truck pusher or whatever he was when he was funding her fees?
She knew because,
She knew.
yeah.
So she thinks now that she has arrived and he's no longer his type.
Mm-mm.
Where she's getting it wrong is when she wasn't his type, he was there for her. Now that she has made it, what she should be thinking of doing is upgrading him
Mm-hmm.
rather than trying to dish him. Because whoever she's intending to go meet that she thinks will be in the same level, on the same level as her, she would be mistaken. Because if if those folks hear of a story or know of a story, they might be thinking differently. So
Okay.
what she should do is, it's not too late. She hasn't told him. What she should do is to begin to encourage him or help him out on whichever way she can to upgrade him to
That's to
his type,
bring to
to her
bring
type,
him to her level, right?
to her type. Yes.
Okay. Yori, let me come to you before I go to Jude. What do you think about this sister? She's a big girl now. She can't be seen with a truck driver.
Well,
What?
she's a high flyer now. Look, I hate to say this, and I'm sure a lot of people will be disappointed in what I'm going to say about this lady.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, she's within her rights not to want the guy anymore.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah, she's within her right. Because think
Yes.
about this way. I wouldn't want to go into a relationship out of sentiments. Okay, so that's a recipe for disaster because this sister would definitely cheat on this brother. So I would expect her to pay him his dues. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, she's a lawyer. She can finance some things. She can open him a truck company.
Okay. Okay. So hold on, Yori. Let me get it right. So you're saying she should pay him his dues. Do you mean pay him his dues and break up with him? Or because you've just said she can help him
No,
start
no,
up
no,
a
no, no,
truck
no, no, no,
company?
no, 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 no. Hold on. See,
Okay.
from what we're reading, this is, and I'm not trying to be crass here. This guy is probably a stack illiterate, and she's a high flyer. That's how I envision this.
Mm,
And as Nelson said, well, she can upgrade him.
mm.
I consider that as an insult. Is either you take me the way I am, and then slowly we build things together, but you're trying to upgrade me to a class that you think you now fit in. That means I don't fit into that class. That's already a power struggle. So to make things a lot easier, pay him his dues. Whatever he has spent on you, if you are capable, you owe him a lot of Dangote trucks now. Set him up and let the man go. Because I don't want a situation where you now upgrade him and you now be holding it over his head. If not, I did this, you won't be able to do that. Look, she's already feel one kind of, if she genuinely loved him, this wouldn't even be a conversation we'll be having.
So isn't it possible for her to upgrade him? Because the only reason why she's saying she can no longer be with him is because they're now on a different level career-wise. So you're talking about Dangote trucks. So isn't it possible for her to upgrade him to that level where he has a fleet of trucks working for him, but which means in a different way, they're now kind of on the same level, but with different careers?
Celia, let me say something. If I actually love you, that shouldn't be the first point of contact. That shouldn't be what we'll be discussing first. You sent me to school. So the next natural thing is for us to either get married and start moving. But me saying, well, I don't want to be with you, then that's already a problem. That means
no, but she has a reason. She has a reason, and the reason is because he's not on the same level as her.
Career-wise, not because she doesn't love him.
Yes. So if that's what the case is, then she should bring him to our level, and then because people do fall out of love.
Career is just 1% of so many things.
No, but
Did you understand that?
Going by what she wrote, that we just listened to.
Yeah.
She's talking about their paths, career-wise, and levels. She's not talking about she doesn't love him. She's not saying she doesn't love him. She's only saying that she cannot, because maybe the class, whoever she's mingling with now, the person might not be able to fit in. But if she upgrades him, then it's not just men that should be upgrading women. Women can upgrade men as well.
Okay, the question, I know you want to go to Jude.
Yeah.
But what do you mean upgrading him? What tells you that the man is not happy being the truck driver that he is? He's successfully sent her to law school. Law school is not chicken change, you know.
But she hasn't put that across to him for him to have the option of either accepting it.
That's why I said she's a selfish person. She should go and look for someone that thinks the way she thinks and let this truck driver be on his way, set him up, and meet someone that genuinely loves him for who he is, truck driver or not.
Do you know what I'm just thinking, Jude? I really need to come to you, but what I'm just thinking is, does it really matter to the man that she's now where she is and he is where he is? Because I'd like to think that at the end of the day, it's not such a bad idea for her to want to upgrade him to her level. It doesn't mean that, she should leave him where he is and she should be content with where he is. Because I'd like to think that everybody wants to strive to get to a certain to get to a certain level in life. And if you're just a one truck driver and you find that you have an opportunity to own 5 or 10 trucks and have people working for you, and she's able to do it, then I don't see any reason why she can't do that. Okay, so Jude, let me come to you. What do you think?
I've just kept quiet listening to everyone. I think it's a travesty on its own. It's a shame because Bill Gates, I don't think Bill Gates have any degrees to his name, but yet he's employed people with PhDs and people with whatever highest level of education. I think she's just a typical example reflecting the society where she was brought up. It's not about being selfish or wanting to upgrade the gentleman to her level. I think it's just a society. It's what we perceive. We see the outside thing, people with the wigs as lawyers, we see them wearing white coats as doctors, we see the people with the big tattoos. I'm just going to go with the shot that these people are from Nigeria, and in Nigeria, we know how we respect titles and degrees. We've got so many graduates with trumped-up degrees, and they can't even defend it. So I think the approach she's taking is very, very wrong because it doesn't mean a thing. I don't want to say she's selfish because everyone has got to have that ambition to want to achieve whatever goal. But I think it's the society she reflects. We need to be correcting that. Degrees don't matter. Degrees don't matter at all. Titles don't matter. It's not about the outside appearance or what society think of you. It's about the two of you. It's about what you have on the inside.
So Jude, would you have a problem her trying to upgrade the man to a certain standard. Do you think that's materialistic of her? Do you think that means she does not love him how he is?
I think using the word upgrade is very, 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 I don't like that word upgrade. It's
Yeah, I
demeaning.
agree.
Yes, of course. People need to. What do we call education? What sort of upgrade? What sort of level she wants it? Can he read and write? Can he talk?
I
Can
mean,
people understand him? That's
we're not
the
even
basic.
we're not even saying her sending him to school. No, what we're saying is he's a truck driver, right? So this
Yeah.
was what he did at the later end while she was in university to help her go through law school and all of that. So we'd like to think that he has some experience, some sort of experience in truck driving. So the least this girl can do perhaps is to buy him maybe 2, 3, 4 trucks if she's, you know, on this so-called level or big girl level that she thinks she is. Can she then buy him more trucks for him to now own his own business and hire other people?
It's not about buying more trucks. It goes back again to that question of how the society perceives things. I have friends who have master's degree. They all ran to America to drive trucks. These are millionaires, truck drivers in America. So in Nigeria, where I come from, I used to carry refuse. It was my brother's business. I was looked upon as the lowest of the low because we would smell all day. But I made money more than my contemporaries at the time. So a truck driver in Nigeria, man, is next to nobody. So that's how she perceives him. She doesn't see the greatness in it. If this person was in America in a different climate, she'll be like head over heels. So yeah, it's all right to have that drive, that ambition. Say, come on, darling, you need to come on, man, do something else. But it's demeaning if she's saying you need to upgrade to my level. What is that standard? In a different society, a truck driver can employ more than 500 lawyers. But a lawyer cannot employ a truck driver.
Okay, Yuri, let me.
Yeah, you see, growing up, I had a maths teacher. Her name is Mama Ngozi. She's well known, University of Ilorin. She's a PhD holder now. I think she's probably like a PhD or a professor. And growing up, this woman used to teach us mathematics. Her husband is a cobbler. And if there's anything this man cherished, is his wife.
Cobbler, shoemaker.
Shoemaker.
Yes.
Okay, let me say it in layman's terms. He's a shoemaker.
Okay.
So, and if there's anything this man cherished.
Shoemaker or shoe repairer?
Shoemaker. Repairer, maker. No, he used to make those pointy shoes too. So, Baba Ngozi loves his wife. They're Catholics. On Sundays, this woman will be in a regalia of George, you know, the way Igbos dress. They've got a wonderful set of children. The children will walk to church, and this man will drive his wife on his moped, his Okada. He loves his wife. She went to university. She was our maths teacher. She was our private maths teacher tutor. She went to university, did her first degree, did her master's, did her PhD, and I think she's probably now on a pathway to professorship. This man, he's happy being a cobbler. He's built her house. He's able to send all his children. He's not educated, but anywhere this woman goes, when they call Dr. Mrs. blah, 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 her husband is there, happy. And she's able to say, well, my husband is a cobbler. The issue here is, I don't know what this woman is. That's why
pride in trade, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. This guy is not a thief. He's not Hush Puppy. He's not legit. Yeah, he's not a legit. You know what I'm saying? It's true.
That's a good description.
He's got a legit hustle. With his money, as truck rubbishing as he is, I sent you to law school. He's not chicken change to go to law school in any society.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the woman is the problem. Pay him off.
Yeah. Okay, Yuri, I'm gonna come. Let's go to Jude. Nelson, I know you wanted to say something because Yuri, the point you've made has brought something else up. But let's go to Nelson quickly before we come back to your point, Yuri. So Nelson.
If I remember what I was about to chip in, it's the upgrade that we're talking about. It's not degrading. We're not saying it to degrade him. I think what we actually meant is if she thinks that she's in the class and she wants someone that fits in, she can have him fit in. That's what we meant by the upgrade that we're talking about.
Yeah, but the problem is, what if he doesn't want to fit in? What if he says, you know what, no, now this is this thing I used to send you to school. But you see, another thing I'm struggling to understand here is, right, given the fact that we're not trying to say that she needs to send him to school, we're just saying make him a bigger person in his trade. right?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
includes having more fleets of trucks if she's able to afford it. Because then it's not only going to benefit him and his social status, it's also going to benefit their family, right? So I don't see why anyone would say, no, I have one truck, I don't want more, I want to stick to that one. Do you understand? But anyway, Yuri, let me come to the point that you made. So guys, if Yuri said something about Mr. and Mrs. Ngozi or whatever the names were.
I can't remember, but her name
Okay, that, you know, the man supported her while she was attaining all this professorship and obtaining all this certificate. Now, guys, if you have a woman who is very career driven, and let's say she's your girlfriend, would you support her to attain a level, right? Or even if she's your wife, would you support her to attain a certain level of education, and you know that you're not on that same level, and maybe you cannot get to that level? Do you think it's something that you would support, or do you think you're going to say to her, beg, it's okay, you already have a BSc, don't further your education? Nelson, let's hear from you.
That whichever level that anyone wants to get to, the man or the woman, push them. Whichever level I want to get to, my wife would push me. Whichever level she wants to get to, I would push her. That's what we do, you know. And then as I'm pushing her, I'm going along. As she's pushing me, she's coming along. You know, it's about this hand washing this hand, and then, you know, just making sure that everything goes smoothly. We all have different visions and we all have different ambitions. What we shouldn't do is to stifle each other's ambition. Just try and push the person on. So I would personally, I would do it.
Okay. Jude, what do you think? Can you support your wife? Do you think you might become jealous at some point? Oh my God, my wife is the Secretary General for the UN now, and I'm just a social worker. I know this woman, you have to sit at home.
I think, yeah, I can't sit here and kid myself. Yeah, it does happen in relationships where one is a high career, is career driven, and it's brought difficulties. For me, I would 100% support the wife, not a girlfriend. Because wife, we're in it together. I'm going back to school again in October for a master's program outside of social work.
Oh, well done.
Yeah,
thank you. I've discussed that with my wife, and she supported me. And I tried to tell her to do this, do that. But it comes down to what Nelson pointed out. It's your own personal ambition, what you're driven towards. I've got friends who say, Jude, we know you from Nigeria. You should be a professor by now. But I'm saying I'm no longer that driven. And they have it in them. You can tell yourself when you no longer have it. It's not by force because I see Mr. A doing it or Mrs. B doing it. I want to go do it. You fail. But coming to the girlfriend question, definitely will not support any girlfriend to attain any, because of the social contract. As boyfriend and girlfriend, it is supposedly that you have your parents to cater for you. I'm not your father or your mother. You're not my father or my mother. It's a social contract. We're there to enjoy the emotions, the love, the sex, but supporting you in your education, no way.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, yes, go on.
If we're not engaged, courted to marry, yes, I can financially support you. But girlfriend, I won't do it. Before I did, with the experience I have now, I will not.
Okay, so Jude, it's funny you should say that because you are the same person that doesn't believe in marriage, right?
Yeah.
So how come you're saying that you will not support a girlfriend, but you don't believe in marriage? So if you had your way, you probably wouldn't be married. So I don't understand.
It's not about not believing in marriage as per marriage. What I don't believe in and what I don't promote is the idea of marriage today. You see, I really need people to, I had to research on marriage, you see. I still believe a man and a woman leave their parents and they come together, start having, that's marriage for me. Boyfriend and girlfriend is different when you still have to go back to your parents' home. I have to go back to my parents' home. We're not responsible for each other. Yeah. But once the woman starts living with me or I'm moving with that woman, we are responsible and we should be responsible for both of us upkeep, education-wise and career-wise. That's what I meant, yeah.
Okay, Yuri, let me come to you. So how would you feel? You want to attain this high, and I know you're very driven, like seriously, as you are now, you're doing God knows how many things.
Yeah.
So how would you feel if your husband suddenly said to you, actually, do you know what, Yuri, I'm not comfortable with all these things that you're doing. What do you need it for? We're comfortable the way we are. How are you going to navigate that?
You know, Celia, you touched on one thing, and most of my friends, everyone know when it comes to career, academic, I'm driven. Like I'm on a program at the moment. The thing about it is right from courtship, my husband knew the kind of person I am, and it wouldn't have worked if it was a hindrance. When you compare both of us, he's into business, I am the academia.
Mhm.
So our relationship won't work because right from he met me when I was doing my master's, and before master's I'd finished, we were talking about how I was going to do my PhD, how I was going to do this. So we knew this was going to be a pathway. So we would have probably separated even before we got to where we are. Let me give you an instance. When I was doing my third degree, my husband was unwell. And I can remember when he came around, the first question he asked me is, I hope you didn't drop out of school. And I goes, mate, nah. It was like, because I know for a fact you're not. But at the same time, I want this documented. If anything were to happen, you continue your dream. So I'm that kind of person that I will go off every two years, I'm doing something academically. It's just I enjoy studying. It doesn't bother me in any shape or form. So he knows me right from the onset. That is it. We would not be where we are if he's going to strive for my career or stop me from doing anything.
Good. Okay. So we're all in agreement that we would support our partners because it's going to benefit our family at the end of the day. So I'm just going to go back to the initial message that this fan wrote. So now let's assume that this guy, right, she's now a lawyer, you know, very eloquent and all of that. And then obviously this guy cannot really speak, cannot speak English, right? And she has to go, you know, go for meetings and dinners with her friends and with their, you know, work-related activities. And she has to take her husband with her because, you know, she wants to show that she has her partner with her, not husband, because they're not married. So, but the man cannot really articulate or he cannot speak English. So how does she present him in a room full of colleagues, barristers, lawyers, silks? How does she present him in this situation? Because we're all here sitting down and saying, oh, you know, she should love him and she should do it. So how does she present him in a situation like that? Jude, tell us.
Yeah, trust me, I said earlier, every marriage or every relationship has its own issues. I won't sit here and tell you I haven't been in situations where I was totally or embarrassed by whatever my wife was doing in parties or she embarrassed by my own behavior. But I'll tell you the truth, we quickly come to the realization in that same gathering that, hang on, it's not about these people, it's about us.
Mm-hmm.
But this is human. I have felt times I'm like, I don't like the way my wife is acting, man. I need to pull out of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll quick come back to realization. It's not about them because at the end of the day, we go home together. We go back together. So if I'm embarrassed to present her in public, I'll come back to that same shame. So it don't make sense. So I've grown to that extent to say it's not about what people think. It does affect me. It does affect everybody, I would think. But I quickly come back to that realization. But going back to this girlfriend and boyfriend, first of all, in Nigeria, I know we do business, we consult business in English. I've been an advocate of we using our local dialect, especially the Pidgin English. The universal one language should be our Pidgin or broken English. That way, yes, that's why we should conduct business in Nigeria officially, because that will stop corruption. That will get the message across to the old person in the village, to those people who don't even have radio, don't have access to the Webster dictionary. If we were using that, this would not have been a problem. It would be eloquent in broken English. Yeah.
So Jude, what you're saying is, make we come begin they speak Pidgin English for inside court. I don't understand. Is that what you're saying?
So now exactly what I mean by that. If you go France, if you go France,
yes,
if you go France,
I agree.
Thank you, sir. If you go France, you go speak French. Remember years ago at the EU meeting, the former French president Jacques Chirac, he shot in MP up. The guy continued to speak English to Tony Blair. He said, if you try out again, I'll walk you out of this place. You'll be French. Speak French.
Wow.
See, yeah, my people, we need to start changing the perception of our people. English not be our own. Now, imported language. We get one universal one. Now, broken English. If you go to Jamaica, now patois, they speak. Everybody, even the president, understand Wagwan. So it's a universal one.
On that note, can I just say the rest of this recording is going to be in Pidgin English, okay? No, I'm joking. Okay, well, do you know what, Jude? That's a very interesting point of view that you've brought across. Nelson, you want to say something?
Yes, it is a very good point, and I would want to add to it as well. You see these lawyers or barristers or what they put on their head, the wig.
The wig.
You see the wig that they put on their head?
Yeah, the wig.
Yeah.
I think it's time they do away with it. I don't know what it's called, but I think it's time they do away with it because it's not part of us. It's not us. It's just something that we adopted. Why would we put a white blonde on our head because we're going to the courts?
Oh, I've got blonde hair.
It's not like we never used to have courts. We used to have courts before the colonization, before the advent of Europeans and all that. So we can start advocating for using a universal language that is universal to, I think, West Africa, which is the Pidgin English, and things like having the wig on, take them out, and let's take up things that are not ours rather than still sticking to what was given to us.
Okay, thank you, Nelson. Nelson's connection is not too great. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Oh,
but
really?
It's interesting that you guys have suddenly just changed on me. Like, Yori, are you understanding what's going on here? They've just changed and everybody wants to start speaking Pidgin English.
I do understand.
What do you think, Yori? Do you think that is do you think that's a fair point?
Look, it's a fair point. Well, I think the problem here is because we've been kind of indoctrinated to think English for how you speak, your phonetics, your accent. In my school, in my secondary school, we had a class where we were taught oral English pronunciation, and you had to just make sure that the right phonics came through you. And I can remember there was a guy that was asking me out, and one of the reasons is a top guy in Barclays Bank, and he was like, because Yori, when we go to meetings, the way you speak, oh my God, I'm thinking, you don't even like me. That's if I'm British. You don't even like this. This is my accent, is what is. Do you know what I'm saying? So I understand why this lady will say, well, I need to take my husband somewhere. He needs to know how to speak. But we've seen instances where, we've got the guys here, your footballers, Mourinho, all of them, some of them have come, even the England coach had come at some point, and English wasn't their first language, and they got them tutors. I remember I've got an uncle in Nigeria, we call him Alhaji. Alhaji transacts millions of businesses, but he doesn't speak English. And do you know what this man did? He went to University of Ilorin and went to the Department of English and said, please, can I have your best graduating student? And employed him. The guy will come, yes, started from ABC to Z. And slowly this man was able to have, it wasn't as if people were robbing me off in his business. So there's so much, if it means so much to this lady, that's why I said there's so many fundamental things already wrong in this relationship. The guy can't speak well. The guy is a truck driver. There's no way she wouldn't embarrass him.
But do you know?
No, but she didn't say that. She didn't say the guy can't speak well.
Well, no, but we're saying based on what Celia just asked now. There's already a problem if she thinks that, his English is not that great. He's not going to use the right sentences. So there's hold on, Nelson. So there's a package already that she has someone in mind, and it's not this guy. You get what I'm saying?
Would you say?
And funny enough, that person might not have her in mind.
My point exactly. The guy she's fanning over might not actually see her. So it's either she loves this guy for who he is. Slowly, men are not stupid too. Sometimes you see the way your woman moves. Like when I do some things, my husband rearranges himself. Like, okay, she's on the go again. He's not trying to chase me, but he's trying to say, okay, well, she's doing stuff with no pressure. Okay, let me support her, but this is what I can do to make sure that this happens. So she doesn't necessarily have to say all the bells and whistles. You have to speak Queen's English. You have to do this. Just with love, the guy would even do more than, you know what, don't let me be acting anyhow so that I don't embarrass her in public. But you're saying he doesn't speak well, he's a truck driver. It's not just that. One day he would use his cutleries in the wrong way, and that would be a problem.
So are we saying that, the man should just be by her side and just keep quiet and look handsome and not open his mouth?
That's his answer.
Because, the thing is, when she be taking him out to all these events, and it's very easy when someone speaks and they don't speak well and other people hear and start laughing, it's very difficult to remove that stigma, It's very difficult to.
But those people that would be laughing because someone spoke bad English, then I think they're in the wrong as well. Why would they be laughing at the person because he hasn't spoken well?
Yes, come on there. Come
I'm
on
not
there.
saying they happen. I'm not saying they happen, but I'm only saying that it is wrong for them to do that because it's not a language.
Yeah, I understand that. But look,
we shouldn't fan them. We should call them out.
Nelson, we understand that, but we're in the land of CFOs, CCOs, CEOs. Everybody's got banners and titles. That's what I call it. So the lingua franca there is posh English, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
You might not have accents. Look, when I went to France, when we were in the hotel, my daughter is learning French, but my French is not, apart from je m'appelle, whatever it is, our French ain't that great. But you have to make an effort in France. No matter how you murder the French, you make an effort. And then they will not tell you, oh, don't worry, English? Yes, we speak English. But you go there and say, good afternoon. They will just be looking at you like toothpaste. And they understand what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
Even in Germany, they do the same. They do the same. If you go into a shop and you're asking for something and you speak in English, they will be staring at you like, you better find that word in German or else we're not going to answer you. Okay, I'm just going to throw a question out there. Which one of you here would feel very confident, Yori, Nelson, Jude, will feel very confident to come out with your partner, right? And you know that their English is I don't even know how to explain it. Their English is nowhere. Which of you would probably confidently come out with your partner, go to a party, go to a dinner where your work colleagues are going to be, and you know that this your wife or your girlfriend likes to talk a lot. She's not the kind of person you can keep quiet, and you get to that dinner party. Which one of you will feel confident to take her there knowing that she's definitely going to say something, and you know that when she opens her mouth, the whole room is going to scatter?
Not me.
Would you be happy to take her?
Yeah, I'll be very confident to do that. It's happened so many times. First of all, my wife is not from here, so she's got the accent because we tend to laugh accents in this country. I'm not from here, so when I speak, they know immediately that, oh, this has got the African accent. So I know what you're talking about, but it comes back to what Nelson was trying to explain earlier. You see, we have a platform, we need to be calling those people out. In the first place, if I know the places where they would laugh at that sort of thing, they will never be my friends in the first place. You see what I mean?
No, but you know what the thing is, Nelson, they're not your friend, they're work colleagues, and it's an event that you have to attend. And let's look at it this way: your wife is not Nigerian, so her own can be excusable to say, okay, the way they pronounce some words in wherever, in her country might not be the same. So let me go to Yori and Nelson. Yori, Nelson, if you know that your partner's English is really bad, would you take them to events like that? Would you feel confident to?
This is the year where we call ourselves, and like Jude said, we're on a platform where we need to start educating ourselves, and the education should come from home. So let me call myself out in the first place. And there was a guy in uni. I had my first degree in Nigeria. Wonderful guy. He worship the ground I walked on, and he probably would be a wonderful partner. But his accent, not even accent, his grammar, and whatever was just not it. And I hate to say this, and God forgive me, and wherever the guy is, I apologize if I treated you in some way or make you feel less of a human. My dad is a journalist. So growing up, it was important that I was able to read I'm not saying I've got the finest accent in the whole world, do you understand? But you need to understand what I'm saying. Clear, concise. It was there. So my first thought was that, Kai, you take this boy that his grammar will scatter the office, the look that your father will give you. So that relationship died a natural death. Would I say right now, I don't consider things, thank God my husband speaks well, but it will be something that it's what I've known growing up. I can't lie to you. It's something I've known growing up is important. It's the way I was raised. My father made sure we were all able to read a full newspaper by the time you were 5, and you understand the words. So I'm a child of grammar, so to say. So I won't call you out. Like, there's only people that I'll call out is my friends that I know that they will take it. I'm like, oh boy, that your sense is not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I'm a grammarian. I'm not, or I'm the best person that speaks English. I'm not even. I'm not. What is that thing? Brighter grammar. I'm not the one that wrote it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm just trying to say that it's not something we should shy away from, especially when
Okay.
in a society where we write reports. It's important that you're not using big grammar, but be able to translate what you're saying and for
Okay.
people to be able to understand you. Like
Understand.
Jude was saying, that's why they're saying we should communicate in pidgin
Okay.
so that people back home or people in the village can understand. But there's a society or a place where you need to be a work environment that they need to understand you so that whatever you say is not translated to mean something wrong. So
Okay, now let me hear from you. Would you take your girlfriend or your wife out when you know she sounds like Jennifer in Jennifer's Diaries and she cannot speak English? What would you do?
Nelson, right now, Nelson of today, would take my wife or my girlfriend to any occasion that I'll be going to. It does not matter if she knows how to speak well, but what matters is she understands things, and when she gets there, she knows how to carry herself, what is expected of her. If her English is bad, it's fine by me. But I would say, from what Yuri said as well, way back before now, I would have been thinking differently. I would think, oh no, she isn't my type. But it's not like that anymore, because I've come to realize that life isn't like that. It's all about what you can offer, not what really comes out of your mouth. As long as you're not being disgusting when you talk.
Okay.
Your English might not be perfect, but it is fine by me.
So if you took her out and you heard her talking to a colleague, maybe your manager, and she's just breaking these bottles like this, just breaking it, would you try to tell her, babe, would you try to pinch her and signal her not to talk anymore, or would you just let her continue to flow?
I would have known before the bottle breaking that she would break bottles. So I wouldn't be pinching her to stop. I just let her flow. As long as she's making sense, then it's fine, because that other person would understand as well. The good thing is we're in a multicultural society where we have lots of people from different cultures, different countries. They speak in different accents, different languages, and not everyone knows how to speak good English, but we just accept it and just flow with it.
Okay.
But for me, though, I will send her a secret WhatsApp. Say, stop breaking bottles, I beg.
But you would have known before then that she would break bottles.
That is a bottle
why
breaker.
stress over it?
I'm only joking.
Yeah, it's what it is. Let her just carry on breaking it.
Okay, so let's go back to the actual story, right? So do you guys, I mean, the fact that the guy paid her school fees and put her through school, it doesn't necessarily mean that he has to marry her. Does he? Does she have to marry? Does she owe him?
For me, that's a very beautiful love story. We need to know more and maybe do a Nollywood movie on it. It's his own personal choice to have supported her all through that period. The story is she lost her parents, so you could see why the guy had that soft touch and said, let me support this person. If she had parents there, I wouldn't have done any of that. So yes, he supported her. It really didn't mean they need to end up together. Maybe he had the expectations that she would end up marrying me and she had a different dream. But I haven't said that though. Like every one of us have said, yeah, Nelson hammered on that. Change is the only thing that's not permanent. Change happens negative or positive. Okay. So truck driver or not, you need to be ambitious in whatever you do. You need to have that drive. I'm telling you, if the lady sees the drive, whether he remains a truck driver or not, she'll be fine. Maybe we don't know the whole picture. Maybe she's not seeing the drive at all. It's like, oh, you know what? I've sponsored you. You've achieved. Now it's your turn to take care of us. Maybe that's what is happening.
Because that's a lot of that's happening right now, isn't it? Because you hear a lot of stories out there where the men, especially in America, the men will go and bring the women from Nigeria, from the village or whatever that have done nursing, bring them to America, put them through nursing school. And then once the woman has done her nursing degree or whatever, then they sit back and they start to expect money. They start expecting the woman to start working and bringing on the money. So for them, it's like an investment. And then all of a sudden, when the investment says, no, I'm not paying up, then there's a problem. And usually people lose their lives, right?
You've just touched on very important thing. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, is it that they would be expecting them to bring the money to them, or they'll be expecting them to bring the money to the house?
No.
Them.
Because I trained you, I
Yeah.
owe your salary. It's my salary.
Yeah.
Oh
I
no,
think
no, that's wrong.
I'll tell you the truth. This is happening. I've had stories. This I was actually going to get involved in one recently, big time. This lady came. They brought her from Nigeria. I think she's a nurse or something. She's working. Guess what? Every payday, the guy asked her to go get the salary and in cash from the cash point, and he collects everything.
Wow.
So it's happening right now
Wow.
in London. In London.
Wow.
So they brought this to me and say, you're a social worker, but you're a friend. I want us to tell us what to do. And I've advised and I say, this is it, because this is slavery. But it is exactly what Celia mentioned. They've come to Nigeria, brought their young girl that they knew from before, paid her school fees for everything, and brought her here simply for investment purpose. And this guy no longer works. That's what I've heard. He no longer works. He's just sitting back and ripping off his stock exchange or whatever they call it.
His investment. Yeah.
It's investment.
That's
Shares.
absolutely wrong. That's wrong. Not done. You
Yeah.
can't do that. Well, what should happen is, if they succeed in educating them and they become successful, they can bring the funds to the house. It becomes their funds, not him expecting her to just bring it for him to spend. No.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, that's what happens, unfortunately. And if the woman starts to rebel and say no, then unfortunately,
They call her a feminist.
yeah, and then she died, and then the man probably ends up killing her. So Nelson, what do you think? Do you think that she needs to marry him because he's put her through school? Do you think she owes him that at least, or?
I think from the note that you read out that she wrote, it's not the excuse is not good enough, because it's something before you change path, you must have gotten to that point whereby you can no longer do anything about it. Then you can change path. But if you look at it and you know that you can do something about your situation, why would you want to run away from it? You would rather stick in there and then do something about it and correct it. So I think that our excuse is correctable, so she can as well correct it. It's only when it's gotten to that point whereby it can no longer be corrected, then yes.
Okay, well, I mean, obviously we don't know the full story. So for me, yeah, go on, Jude.
Just to add to what Nelson was saying, that's a very good question, by the way, Celia. Nelson said she should have known from a period coming, all this period when he was supporting her. I had a girl then I liked so much in Nigeria. I chased for a long. I think it was probably the only girl I chased, because I was quite shy with girls. I would chase this one left, right, center. I'll be praying for rain to fall. Grab the umbrella. If they rain, no matter cover you, Richards. Oh no, this girl was beautiful. She was just like an angel. And at that same period, my ambitions then was not to go to school in Nigeria, because there was no money. So I left secondary school. After I finished secondary school, I wasn't able to get into uni. And so my plan was to come to Europe for greener pastures. And when I told her, when she found out along the line, anyway, the relationship didn't mature to sexual or anything, but we were friends for a long time. When she found out that I was going to go abroad, and she said, no, I can't do this with you. I asked her why. It never leaves me. I asked her why, and she said, I don't think we will have a future, because people say they'll go Europe and I'll come back for you. You don't even know what is there. At that time, she told me clearly, you don't know what is there. You don't know what you will meet. So I can't put my hope or future on you. We should just let it be now. You go your way. And I think it was the best. Looking back, decision. It was a very good decision she took at the time, not to wait for me.
Okay.
Go on. Like I said, look, the question is, this lady then has to look inward. Does she still love this guy? That's the most important question here. Upgrading or no upgrading. If she's just taking him along, well, like, oh, I owe him because he's invested in me, then it's no longer a wonderful relationship. So she needs to sit down and think, do I still love this guy? And if she does, then she can fight for it. But if she doesn't, there's no point upgrading, because she doesn't love this guy. She'll be chasing after something. She'll be looking for excuse. That's when she will know that he's not eating right. He's not talking right. He's not moving right. There'll be something. So I think she should just let it go.
Yeah, you're right there, Yuri. I think at the end of the day,
that's if she says that she no longer loves him, which she hasn't said. She only said that it's not right for her right now. Who knows? It might be ripe for her in the next 5 minutes or 2 days.
Do you know women at all?
Exactly. Well, the thing is,
No, I don't. No, I don't.
before I think before a woman comes out and says the man is not right for her, she must have been thinking about it for a very long time.
Yeah.
The woman doesn't just come out and say no. She must have been thinking about it, trying to see if there's anything she can do about it. And she must have come to the conclusion, and you know what, I've tried to do what I can and it's not working. For me, I just think she doesn't. Unfortunately, it's a really sad story because the man has put all his effort and he's tried to, you know, provide for her and make her the best of what she is right now. So I just feel, you know, for him, if he starts to notice kind of behavior from her, he should already just cut off, because it means that she's not the right person and the relationship or the marriage is not going to end well. And for her and for other people out there who find themselves in the same situation, they shouldn't always feel like, because this man did this for me, so I need to marry him. Okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's sad. So maybe men, you guys need to be a bit wiser. Okay. And not think that you can invest in a woman by putting the woman through school and expect the woman to now start paying you back your investment. Because no, that's a human being and their minds can change. The woman can say, no, I'm not your slave. I'm not doing that. And I suppose this also goes for men, because for women, because there are some women who would also put men through school and who would, you know, help the man to bring the man up there. And then when the man gets up there, they suddenly realize that, oh, this woman, all you're doing is tying wrapper around the house. You don't know how to do your makeup. You're too fat. You're too this. You're too that. And before you know it, one slim girl somewhere is now the one to
Slim shady.
man's fancy. You see. So I think we just need, as humans, really, we just need to be very we need to be tactical. We need to think about what we do before we do. And I really like when you guys said that we should start speaking Pidgin English in Nigeria. I think that would be a very interesting debate. And I think it would be a very interesting innovation, because you would start to all of a sudden see that things would change.
Yeah.
Yeah, things would change. And I think the marketplace would change as well, because people that didn't have that confidence to come out because they couldn't speak English, they couldn't articulate what they wanted to, will all of a sudden start to come out, because we all now speak one language and, you know, it's okay. So on that note, now here I go for end this meeting today.
You do well. You do well.
For
You do well, my
sister.
You do well.
My Pidgin English is still on.
You do well.
100%. Okay.
Yeah, but he did very on point.
So thank you, Nelson, and thank you, Juliori, for making this another wonderful show. And
thank you so much.
On Saturday at 9:30,
do well,
premiering. Make una sleep well,
Good night.
Goodbye.
Do well. Let's keep the grammar well.